What's up, people? Been trying to see a movie for a while, and I finally got to see something. I was trying to decide whether to see something I wanted to see that was a little old, or I thought I would just go out and see something that came out recently. I think this came out this past weekend, so I went to go see Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And the gist of this movie is there are these things that live in this basement of this house that the father of this girl is rebuilding, played by Guy Pearce, and Katie Holmes is his girlfriend, and they're rebuilding this house, and the daughter gets sent to this house, and it's like really big and old and creepy looking, and you find out that in the basement it's like there's this thing locked up, and behind it there are these things that like get out in the dark, and they want to take children down and do something to them. So this movie is a cool concept. It's from Guillermo del Toro, so it's something, when you hear his name, you're like, wow, you gotta expect a lot, because he has brought some cool stuff to the table. And, it's a cool concept that's really, it's something on a small base that they do this, and I'll get back to that at the end, but it's small, and it's something that I can appreciate, but goddamn, Guillermo del Toro really dropped the ball on this one. So, let's start with the girl, the actress, the young one. She's pretty good, she's getting tormented by these little things, but her character, it just doesn't change at all in the movie. It just feels like she just gets stuck in this, like, mopey attitude, and she's just the whole time just going, I'm a little 8-year-old girl, and I'm depressed, and, these little monsters want to be my friends. And that's something that's kind of cool, is they go with that aspect of, the strangers, kids aren't supposed to talk to strangers, and she's talking to these, who she thinks is just one person, this stranger, and he's, like, kind of getting to her, but won't say any more than that. But she just stays in this whole, like, mopey attitude, and it's just kind of boring. But whereas, surprisingly, Katie Holmes comes into play as, just, like, completely, like, away from her, like, the girlfriend of her dad, so just like she is not connected with that person at all. And there's some good moments between her, and Katie Holmes is, I would definitely say is the strongest performance in this movie. She definitely has the coolest part, and and that gets me to Guy Pearce, who has been in some pretty amazing stuff. He was in that movie that Christopher Nolan did, Memento, that is truly brilliant. And honestly, I guess he needs some really damn good material, because he is pretty bland in this movie. He's an architect, and that's it. He thinks that his daughter's crazy. That's all there is to his character. He is, like, when I saw his name in the credits, I was like, wow, is this gonna be really awesome? And, and the visuals, I thought maybe those will be really cool. And honestly, there isn't as much them as I thought there would be. Like, I was thinking, like, there'd be some, like, crazy big thing coming out of the dark, but it's these, like, little, not this little, but, like, this size, I would say, like, of these little creatures, and they all look unique, and they look cool, and they look as real as they need to be, and they look freaky and scary. But, that's all they do. Like, every time, like, they're about to come on screen, it's extremely predictable. Like, all the set pieces in the movie are like, okay, we're gonna put this character in this situation, it's gonna get dark in the room, and these things are gonna come out and mess their day up. And that's, like, all I thought was happening, and it's just, it repeats kind of, and they go, and they do show some things I just remembered in the beginning, They show them, like, certain things that they reference to later, but don't talk about it at all, and they never go back to it, and, like, could have had the cool moment, of, like, oh my god, there's that thing, because you weren't really thinking about connecting these two things that come up later, and they just don't do anything with it. It's, like, a big thing that they show, and just never even gets talked about, I don't think, which is really weird. The music in this, which is something that Guillermo del Toro I thought was good with after seeing Pan's Labyrinth, that's some pretty cool music moments, that was like a big part of, like, what made that really awesome, like, what took it, like, from going up here to, like, going, like, up there, and the music in this was meh to, like, unnoticeable. Like, I can't even remember any of it. Like, even the stuff I thought was like, whatever, this is okay, I can't even remember it. The shots and transitions in the movie, they're kind of cool. There's nothing really that special in the movie. Uh, but with really only a handful of cool horror moments, of like gore stuff, and stuff you expect in a horror film, like jump scares, which happened once. I jumped once and it got me. I was happy to see that, and like some cool like attacks and stuff. Like there was just nothing, like memorable, and that's what really like just pushes this down. Like it's just all kind of bland because, like I said, it gets dark, shit's gonna go down. It felt kind of like Sam Raimi-esque, I would say, this movie, and it kind of reminded me of Drag Me to Hell in a way, just because of the whole like crying wolf thing, but it didn't have any humor to it. It took itself really seriously, and this is almost something that begged for humor. Like, think about, if anyone out there is familiar with Army of Darkness, that scene with the little ashes, that is really funny. Like, there's hundreds of these little things running around, and like the goofy thing that happens is like a light gets shined on, they're like, I get scared, And this is rated R. Why? Like, everything in that made it rated R could have been cut out for like no reason. It would have taken nothing out of the film. Like, I think the goriest thing you see is maybe you see like some blood, I guess. A character's leg breaks in a crude way that's pretty awesome. And someone gets a little bloody, but this should not have been rated R. This is like disappointing R. This is like, alright, I'm ready for a hard R rated movie, and then nothing. But, this is not like the high level of storytelling and character development I've come to expect from Mr. Del Toro, but, this is something you can rent, and hopefully this is just a little bump in his career. And now I want to get back to what I was saying, so this could be considered a spoiler, but I'm just going to say, so you got your review, there you go. These creatures, they like to eat teeth, and they do this whole, they kind of, like, make light of, like, a tooth fairy aspect, and God, that would have been so cool if they would have done this movie, like, on a large scale, like, these creatures were attacking kids and ripping their teeth out their face. That would have been a hard R, and that would have been awesome. Find some other character who's trying to take them out, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, so... And also, I wanted to say, so after leaving this movie, I didn't like it that much, as you can tell. And while I was watching the movie, right in the corner, let's say right there, imagine that there was something flashing, like a red exit light, for example. And that's what it was like for me for the whole movie. So I went and I talked to the lady at the ticket booth. I was like, well, if I want to get my money back. And she was like, well, do you have any complaints? I was like, why, yes, I do. And I ended up getting my $9 back. So there's your key, people. If you want to get into a movie for free, it has to be on the same day. But if you have a legitimate complaint, like the exit sign is too bright, which is something they cannot prove, but it's actually true that happened, there you go. That's a way that you can get free movie tickets. So... thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and hopefully I'll be coming at you with more of these. Peace out.